Hi, everyone. This is Kay White with Girls in Finance. And I told you about the challenge that I'm in, where we are going live every day to talk about a topic live for 5 minutes. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited about sharing more in the space of finance. A lot of the lives that I've done in the past over on YouTube have been strictly about artificial intelligence and learning how to create digital products using artificial intelligence, really diving into the AI space. But my real roots are in finance. I spent over 30 years just working in personal finance. I started with helping people with a organization. I started just helping people in the community with understanding their personal finances better. That the company that I worked with, it provided everything in terms of services from just budgeting, debt management, housing, counseling, and services, as well as just general financial counseling. We worked with a lot of organizations in the local area, and this is in Atlanta, in the local area, with providing services to other organizations, churches, nonprofits, a lot of different institutions, and this is my true roots. And over the course of that time, I started out as a counselor and then went on to manage a department, went on and just started developing a lot of the training programs and services, and even developed an actual training book, or manual, I should say, that supported not just the staff, but really provided resources that we could use for people when they came in for help. So we provided assistance on a lot of different levels. And I love talking about the topic. I've done it for over 30 years. I actually wrote a book. It's called 52 Weeks of 52 Weeks of Financial Awareness for Young Adults. And it is a wonderful, wonderful book if you aren't even a young adult, if you're a senior adult and you just want to learn some of the different strategies behind maintaining your personal finance. And if you want to know the traps to avoid, that's a big one for me. It's so important. I see people fall into various traps all the time, institutional, I would say, traps that you just aren't aware of. For just to give you a good example, some things like not realizing if you have a car repossession that you still have to pay the balance that's owed from financing the car. And a lot of times people are confused about a lot of things like that. And I just, encourage anyone at any age, start planning ahead immediately when. And so I try to talk with the young people in the book. I really talk about this, just giving some guidance and go week by week, some things for you to pay attention to look out for, to be prepared for as you go on this financial life journey. That's really important. And so, with that, let's get to today's topic. I'm going to talk a little bit about just budgeting in general. I may not actually go to Chat GPT. I did open it up. I have a custom GPT that I created called the Handy Money Mentor. And you're welcome to grab it if you have the pro version of Chat GPT. Certainly take a look at that custom GPT and feel free to tell me what you think. If you're getting some good help from it, it's really geared towards just supporting young people, primarily young adults, with their money management. And even though I have the brand Girls in Finance, I'm really big on providing services to not just girls and young ladies and even adult women. I also really am eager to assist young boys as well and helping them have the tools and the information that they need to be successful as well with their finances. And so, today I want to talk a little bit about budgeting and just budgeting on the most simple level. And when you think about budgeting, and you probably think of it in terms of just how much you're spending each month and kind of planning around that. And that is true. That's exactly what you want to do, but you want to go a little bit deeper than that. I say plan for the future, and I'm going to say start to look at what is coming in, how much money. So you want to look at just whatever you have from your regular job coming in, if you have any additional part-time jobs, or even if it's not a how do I say it? Even if it's not a job that you are getting up, getting ready, and driving to, it could be a remote job, or it could just be some extra work that you're picking up. It might be that you've started a little business, and you know how we call our businesses little businesses. But it might be that you've started a little small business or maybe a side hustle, and you're doing what yard work. If it's a guy, I would say, and if it's a girl, maybe you are really good at doing hair, and so you've set up a little side hustle for that. Don't count it as something small. Count it as something that's moving you towards your dreams and your goals. And so, with all of those funds that you're bringing in, you want to look at them. Look at them on a regular basis. You want to keep them front and center in your mind and know how much you have coming in so that you can be prepared as you start spending. Even if it changes from month to month, it's really important to write it all down, get it all down on paper so you can see what the reality is that you're dealing with for the month. And then, as far as expenses, you want to deduct the amount that's going out. For a lot of people, this is going to be the same amount very often, because a lot of things that we do, for example, things like housing, if you're paying a mortgage or if you're renting, you're going to typically have that same amount every month. And so you want to write all the things down that you know are going to be consistent. If you have a car note, for example, your utility bills might, those things, they might vary a little bit. And so typically, though, you'll find that they're in the same range. And so you can do an average of what you normally would spend monthly for your utilities, and then write down just any other expenses. So those, we've talked about the fixed expenses. You probably have some things that vary. If you have, trying to think of something that is not always in that, well, a utility bill actually is a good example of a variable expense. And so you want to write down all the variable expenses. And then from that, you want to also, I'm trying to think of something else that you might have something that is quarterly. So it's not every month, but you, for those things, you want to divide them out. Even though you might pay them every 3 months, go ahead and try to establish a practice of setting aside the funds for that, and if you do everything online, then you can set it in a separate account. Talk with your financial institution. A lot of times they do have those type of systems where you can open up a couple of different accounts and see if if you can get something that's no cost. Sometimes you'll find that it just depends on the economy, the type of economy that we're in, but a lot of times those opportunities are there for you to set up something where you can set aside money in a separate account to pay for things that are periodic. And then the other thing is just looking at your expenses against what is coming in each month. If you have more that you're spending than is coming in, then you know that you've got to find additional income somewhere. That's one option. If you like the lifestyle that you're living, let's say you're dining out on a regular basis and you enjoy that and you want to continue to have that particular routine, then you know that you've got to increase your income somehow. However, on the other side, if you just really don't see an option for increasing the income, then you know that you've got to cut expenses. You know that you've got to target some of the expenses in your budget, and you want to look at what can you do to eliminate something. And if you can't eliminate it, maybe you can reduce it. For example, a good example of this would be like dining out or having lunch every day. And a lot of times you actually can cut your expenses by taking a lunch. It might be leftovers from the previous day or something like that. But look at those type of things and see where you can actually cut. Like if you have some services and things that you do on a routine basis consistently, it might mean that you depending on how serious you are about eliminating some expenses, you have to have a real serious conversation with yourself and determine, to what extent do I want to make some sacrifice with what is going out of my household each month? Can I, at least occasionally do my own nails? Do I want to go every week? Or I know for a lot of times for a filling it may be more like 2 weeks, but and just think about that may not, a lot of times we're serious about our nails, but it may be something else. For example, depending on your hair and how it's done, if you have some expertise where you can do it sometimes yourself, and depending on the season, then that's something to consider. And just whatever other areas, only you can decide. Your budget is personal to you. How you cut expenses is personal to you. But you got to really look at where you're going in life. What is it that you want to accomplish, and can you achieve that with the current budget that you have, or do you need to make some adjustment? You just got to have a real honest conversation with yourself. And so sometimes I know a young lady told me that my book really helped her because she just wasn't exactly sure how she was going to change her situation. And she realized that even with creating some additional income, she could come out of that. She could pay some things off. And so she started doing just that. She got another job, and then she started using the envelope method. So where she was setting her funds aside for different things, or you can use the envelope method in a couple of different ways. But you might she started actually using the envelope method where she would set aside money for specific things, and then when the funds were gone, that she was done spending for the month. So she might have an entertainment budget of a certain amount. Let's say she set aside $150. I know that's for some entertainment. For some, well, everybody is different. For some people, 150 might sound like a lot, and for others, it might not be. But whatever your lifestyle, if you want to see that, if you see something like that as an area where you can cut, and you set use the envelope method and you set aside $150 in the envelope for that particular expense of entertainment, When the money is gone, the entertainment is gone. So you use what you have in the envelope, and then when it's gone, that's it for entertainment. But what it does is it help you really plan and stop and think about how you want to spend your money each month and in these particular categories. So you set up the categories and you go from there. So I hope this is helpful. And if you want more information, you can always grab my book. It's 52 Weeks of Financial Awareness for Young Adults, but again, it's for older adults too. But that's what I have for you tonight. Take care. I hope this has been insightful, and I look forward to sharing with you more information another time on the topic of money, or even on, we'll get back to the topic of using AI to create a business and expand your business. And we'll talk soon. This has been Kay White with Girls in Finance. Take care. Have an awesome evening. Bye.